And welcome to another edition of South Texas Crossfire. This is Attorney Joe Flores reminding you to join us each and every week right here on KTMV with the Lopez family. Special thanks to Don Humberto celebrating over 50 years of broadcasting. He passed away in 2011, but he's honored and venerated, and a special thanks to our broadcaster, Carlos Lopez, the Ted Turner of South Texas Broadcasting, for all of us here who gives Latinos a voice. With me today, I have a very special program. It's dedicated to the Catholic Charities right here in Corpus Christi, a mission that is entrenched in Scripture, a mission that helps people find housing, helps those that are downtrodden, the weakest in our society that need help. We're going to be focusing in on some very important areas, and that is helping those who either are at risk of losing their homes or they desperately need help out in the colonias. We're going to be talking about that in our second segment. But first of all, I'd like to introduce, and I have the great honor of having yet again YiYi from Catholic Charities. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you, Hans.
For those of us who haven't seen you on TV yet, could you tell the audience a little bit about your education, training, and background?
Okay, my name is YiYi Dean. I work in Catholic Charities now for the past 10 years. I started actually writing grants, and I'm a grant writer. I'm program developer. I develop programs not only for Catholic Charities, but also for the Mother Teresa Shelter. And besides that, I have supervised several programs. One of those happened to be the housing counseling. We had approved housing counseling with HUD since 2002. And we are the only approved and comprehensive one in the 12 counties that we cover. And
this prevents, we're talking about prevention of foreclosure.
Correct.
We're looking at the laws on forbearance. We could get technical, but the bottom line here is you have some concrete examples of people who are at risk losing their home. Can you tell us a little bit, with protecting their privacy, tell us a little bit about one of the stories of how Catholic Charities is impacting those people's lives?
Well, probably about a year or so. Keep in mind that since 2005, we started to experience foreclosure throughout the nation.
Yes.
And it did not impact the state of Texas as tremendously as it did other states. But yes, it also has been a great impact. The foreclosure rate in this city right now is approximately 18.9% per household stock. So that's a big concern. The typical homeowner, before going into foreclosure, usually have approximately 3 months or so that have been delinquent in the payments. Keep in mind that the payments usually are the regular monthly mortgage payment, accrued late fees, and once it goes into a pre-foreclosure sale, it carries then court fees and attorney's fees. So this can be very, very big.
Y vamos a platicar un poquito en español porque yo sé que hablas muy fluente en nuestro idioma.
Correcto.
Explica a la audiencia qué exactamente está pasando con las casas y situación hay.
Bueno, uno de los problemas que estamos teniendo en la ciudad, y no solamente en la ciudad, sino en la nación, es que muchas de las casas están, cuando van a la capacidad de las casas de hipoteca. Uh-huh. Empieza entonces cuando están ya atrasados en los pagos de las viviendas, empieza entonces a salir con la hipoteca que se ha dado a caso de que se ha quedado atrasados los pagos.
Y más o menos como 3 meses o más.
Como unos 3 meses. Al tercer mes es cuando las casas de hipoteca en realidad tienen todo el derecho de empezar lo que se llama un foreclosure sale, para empezar a poner la casa a venderla en realidad. En ese caso, entonces, las familias empiezan se ponen nerviosas, claro, no saben qué hacer. Típicamente no se ponen en contacto con las casas de hipoteca porque tienen miedo acerca de que no tienen el dinero para pagar, no saben qué es lo que va a pasar. Siempre le advertimos a las familias que en cuanto sepan que no van a poder hacer el pago de las viviendas, que nos llamen o llamen a la casa de hipoteca que tienen sus pagos inmediatamente.
And, for those of us that are out there that are English speaking as well, what we just talked about, we covered the same thing in English and Spanish, and that's out of respect for so those people, because culturally, a lot of people are ashamed that they can't pay their house. They're ashamed that they can't meet their obligations, and they're ashamed that they're about to be thrown out of their house. This flies in the face of our cultural beliefs and our work ethic, and many Latinos that are facing this are in the same boat, ladies and gentlemen, that of people around the nation, in Detroit, in Los Angeles, in California. They're making tent cities.
Correct.
Where people are, and it's the secret in America right now about it. So Catholic Charities has stepped in since 2002, and a real life story, maybe a testimonial from somebody that you could share with us.
Yes. We have many, but one of them that come to mind. A single mother is typical, the situations. Mother had a household, at one time married, because of the stress that the economic challenges that happen, perhaps loss of employment most of the time, or reduction in wages, had caused then the head of household at the time, the father, to start making payments on the mortgage. At that time, we have had instances that the dad had left the home, leaving the mom alone.
Sure.
To take care of all the necessities of the home. In this case, then, what we did is brought him back to the table. Keep in mind that if you are not in the deed at the home, and your name is not as an approved name that can negotiate with the mortgage company, it becomes actually very difficult for us to deal with them, because the original homeowner, in most cases, is the father or the male head of household that purchased the home in their name. We are having that problem a lot. So the mother stay there, but she don't have no rights to the property. So she cannot negotiate, and we cannot help her negotiate with the mortgage companies because of that. But then in the case that is a homeowner delinquent in the payments, usually are waiting, and I urge them to come to us way before. Once you have the first month, we all know when we cannot make the first payment that month. Don't feel embarrassed. It's better to come to us. Everything that we do is strictly confidential. We don't disclose any information to anyone. We actually sign an agreement to receive and release information, but only to the parties that it needs to know. At that time, usually what we see is that by the time they come, the other day, for example, we got a call yesterday as someone that haven't paid the mortgage for 9 months. That is a very, very difficult case to deal. But coming back to the average one, the average child might be family with children might be 3.5. I always say that the 5 probably is the pet. I'm not sure.
Sure. Yes, ma'am.
And then at that time, then we ask them for the paperwork. Of course, in order for us to negotiate with the mortgage company, because what we do, we serve as a negotiator to make sure that we find the best products available for that family to enter. Probably it could be, of course, we call it loss mitigations. In another word, we always give them a glossary in English and in Spanish for them to read and understand the terminology.
Good. Terms and conditions,
Yes.
of legal terms and conditions.
Correct, because we can be talking in our offices very plain Spanish or very plain English, but then when the homeowner needs to talk to the mortgage company, it becomes something completely different. At that time, the mortgage company only talking about forbearance agreements and loan modifications and refinances and PTIs. That is very, very intimidating.
For most lawyers, it's a very intimidating language. Y a la gente que habla nuestro idioma, por favor, que llamen a 884-0651 si tienen miedo o si hay riesgo que van a perder a su casa. If you are worried that you're going to lose your house or at risk of losing your house, and you are watching this show, whether in English or Spanish, 884-0651, 884-0651. The number has been appearing in front of your screen every 3 minutes, and we thank Diamond Day for doing that for us, also getting out the message. And also her email is Dean, D-E-A-N, at diocese cc.org, and that will also be appearing in front of your screen. And if we're playing this on radio here pretty soon, you could hear that's 884-0651. We've got a couple of minutes left. What would you like to tell the people out there about the homeless issue and how they can get involved and help? There has to be some lawyers out there. There has to be some real estate brokers. There have to be some people that would like to volunteer their time with Catholic Charities to help these people.
Yeah, we always welcome anyone that wants to volunteer in helping us with these type of cases. One of the things that we'll urge our clients, not only that they call immediately, but respond to the correspondent. Sometimes the correspondent get there. By the time they go to our offices, the letters are still sealed. Sometimes we have received, this is the month of February, the letters were sent in September last year.
Nobody likes to open bills.
And nobody likes to open that type. It's intimidation.
Yes,
very intimidating.
Scary.
Yes. And at the same time, keep in mind that do not pay for any housing counseling. We do all of this for free.
There are people out there that are running scams or that are unscrupulous, that are charging people to save their home, and then instead of putting money towards the home, they lose money.
They lose money. And at the same time, HUD had just, Congress had just passed the one of the laws that was passed not too long ago, actually it was recently, it was the independent foreclosure review. This is for all residents, all homeowners that had lost their home in between 2009 to 2010. Those that had lost their home because the review paperwork by the mortgage companies was not done in the proper manner. There was a serviceman that went to war and came back and the home was foreclosed. We have had cases that also we have loot in doom of foreclosure. Of course, as an attorney, you know, but this is basically when a person voluntarily turned the keys of the home back to the mortgage company.
Sure.
In many instances, they have done that because of the intimidation. I don't know where else to go. And sometimes they come to us most of the time when it's too late. We want you to call us and to let us know way before. We have an additional counselor. If they cannot reach me, they can always reach Miss Natalia Baker at the same phone number. Just ask for housing, and one of us will be able to help you.
Yeah, and you're at 884-0651, extension 215.
And then the other extension is 224.
224. And ladies and gentlemen, Catholic Charities is doing wonderful things out there. Also, even helps out with immigration status, helping with paperwork out there, helping with people that are at risk, children without food, elderly without food. There are so many wonderful things that Catholic Charities do. Try to help a hand, volunteer, send money. Contact them and contact YiYi Dean, and her number again is 884-0651, extension 215, and we are trying to help people save their home, among other great services. So once again, thanks to YiYi Dean. Thank you for coming by. And Catholic Charities, a mission that is drenched in Scripture and that is following God's path. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking to a young man who has a vision to help out the colonias, along with Commissioner Joey Gonzalez, your commissioner, 24/7, when we come back. Hola, soy Joe Flores, abogado, recordándole que es muy importante que salga a votar. Este año en Texas se han cortado programas importantes. Esto es a causa de las decisiones de los registradores republicanos que le han dado más importancia a ganancias que a personas. Le han dado más importancia a corporaciones y compañías de seguro. Este año electoral, regístrese para votar el Partido de la Gente. Personas trabajadoras, maestros, enfermeros y familias. Vote demócrata.
The justice system for those who want to take on insurance companies or big business has become difficult in Texas. Unfair tort reform laws have closed the courthouse doors to the most vulnerable in our society, including the elderly and children. You need competent legal representation when it comes to serious accidents and if you have suffered harm from a drug product or medical device. Joe Flores can help. Backed by 20 years as a medical professional and as a trial lawyer, Joe Flores can evaluate your claim. The law offices of Joe Flores, equal justice for all.